Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a coffee talk from the left side of the Atlantic and my coffee. Good morning, Pilgrim.
Good morning. I haven't put the colonial sticker up, but good morning, Guido and colonials and Brits and Euros and the rest of the world. Got myself the biggest mug of tea in the world just to keep myself going. I'm only here for an hour, so you'll hear me blab on for an hour, and then I'm getting kicked off the channel, apparently.
Not forever.
Good morning.
He's kicking himself off, but he's got family stuff to do. It always trumps the
Sure.
coffee talk. So, are you ready for Christmas?
No, not in
No.
a million years. It doesn't happen. I mean, as much as my house general would like it to happen like your house general does, like 364 days a year, my house general is like, we'll deal with that when my birthday's over, when her birthday's over and done with, because her birthday's in December.
This is going to be a problem, though, for us.
Why?
Not you, but us. Well, because we're about to kick off our big remodel,
Oh, are you now?
which is one of those we can get it done by November things. Which I'm like, well, it's mid-October now, so obviously not. But the promise before Christmas, you know my wife's how much she loves Christmas.
I know, absolutely. But the problem you've got is that I've never yet seen you complete a project. So
Hey, I'm not doing it.
you're not.
No,
Okay, so
no.
you are outsourcing it, are you now?
I am going into poverty to do this.
You're selling the family jewels to get this done.
I am, and they're not worth much.
Oh bloody hell.
Yeah, so that's all got to get done
So-
before.
So you've got people on board to do this, have you?
Yeah.
Or you're
yeah.
still not looked? Oh, you've
Yeah,
not.
we got a contractor who's doing it all. So it's a kitchen, bathroom. We've got our washer and dryer. It's an old house, so there's not
Sure.
an actual laundry room. So the washer and dryer in the hallway behind some bifolds that close,
Got you. Okay.
which is perfectly serviceable. But we're going to take those out and move them
Right.
into what is the master walk-in closet because it's quite large. That was built in the 80s.
right.
And then take that space and kind of split it in half because it's next to a little tiny hallway bathroom that back in the 40s when this was built, you built one bathroom in the house. So that's the bathroom that's been there the whole time. It's quite small. We're going to add a little room from that area. Then we're going to turn the other part because the kitchen and that bathroom are against each other. The other one's going to be kind of a walk-in pantry because we don't have a pantry either.
Okay. All right.
And then the kitchen with all the cabinets, which is a big old mess.
This is expensive, Guido. This is when you start to talk about it. I'm suddenly realise just a kitchen refurb is in the region of like $15,000, mate.
It
Maybe
is.
you just
It
strip
is.
it all out and do all that.
It will be more than what I still owe on the house.
Good grief.
Yeah, which
Well,
is
it's obviously forever housing. You're not moving from
Right.
there, are you?
yeah. I mean,
Oh, dude.
I was probably 7 years out from paying it off, so let's just spend
God, that's got to be hurting. That's
Yeah.
got to be hurting.
Yeah.
You know,
it. Yeah,
because you could have retired after 7 years in luxury, couldn't you? You know, houseboat, you know, summer house, weekends, golfing, you name it. You
it's
know what I mean?
it's one of those things where, when you start talking, you buy the house, you start talking, and you're like, all right,
Yeah.
here's the things we'd like to do with it, right? And here's the things
Yeah.
we know we're going to have to do because it's just comes to a head. It's just too dated, too beat up. All of our, it's those. I don't know what they make the cabinets here. That's like particle stuff, particle board.
Yeah, I
kinda
get you. I get
cabinets.
you. Yeah, like
Well-
like hardwood boarded.
Well, it's that. Yeah, no, it's that composite
Yeah.
stuff. So if it gets
Yeah,
wet, it kind of
yeah, I get
expands,
you.
and
Yeah.
if you get a nick in it, it chips, and it just over the years it just gets rattier and rattier looking. So
Yeah.
you could replace all of the shell, all the doors and stuff, but
Yeah. Yeah.
why go through that? Just so anyway, the kitchen's always had to be done. The bathroom it's okay.
Chipboard. Chipboard.
Yeah, is that what it is? Okay.
That's what it's called over here. Chipboard.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, I got you. Anyway, so that you always kick that down the road, that can down the road.
Of course you do.
Not now, not yet.
It's
we got
serviceable.
this.
It's fine.
Right. Until the House General has had enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like, all right, we got to do this.
Say hello
OnlyFans.
to- Yeah. Say hello to everybody. Yes. Nicholas refurbing his wife's Beetle. We're
Oh,
going to
nice.
use the millions for streaming to refurb your house.
Nice. That's why I do this.
In the house.
so I can, that 6-figure income, baby.
Yeah. So we can live like kings.
I saw some stats on OnlyFans. I don't know what I was reading.
I did that.
I was reading a news article or something about it. It was going through. It's kind of like the streaming thing, where people think they're going to make $1 bazillion, and then the reality is the top X%, which is a very thin slice, are actually making a bunch of money, and everybody else doesn't make anything essentially.
Yeah.
Of course, the women make the most, obviously.
Well, I was going to mention something, but we'll let you rattle on for a minute, and then I'll mention it.
What, your OnlyFans page?
No.
Oh.
Well, two things. I've got a friend who lives around the corner, who tells me.
Friend.
Well, yes, he's a decent chap. He rides a bike.
Okay.
And he works on. He's a builder, so he's like, he works outdoors all his time. But his wife also works, but she does, in quotes, media stuff. Now, I've never dug down into this. I've never asked, because it's not something you ask.
Yeah.
But she gets a lot of free stuff. I mean,
But that's how it's presented to you?
The media. She does media
That's
stuff.
what he says.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't dig into it at all, right?
Yeah.
So, and I just accept it what it is. But when I was talking about going up mountains and all this, he's really into it. He goes, I said, because my missus does all the media stuff, she gets sent stuff, free stuff all the time. She gets loads of stuff, and we've got like £3,000 worth of camping gear just sent to us.
Oh, wow.
Now, so I mean that's fairly cool, but they also get other free stuff sent to them, which he's happened to mention. And I'm sure, I will swear, he's a builder. He's built a hot tub in his house. I'm sure he has. Now, not for me to ask, inquire, and look, because I wouldn't dare look. It's not my nature to do that. But it's obviously an earner, isn't it? It's obviously an earner.
Yeah.
He's got a new motorbike and everything. You know what I mean? It just appears. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is it all that Temu stuff?
Do you know what? Not all of it, but I guess a large part of it, large majority of it is. And I'm not sure if a sponsor, because he did mention sponsors.
I wonder if she's some kind of TikTok influencer.
I wonder, because she's sponsored at some point. So it's obviously an earner. We're saying we make millions, but people do. But you're right, the ladies make a lot more than the blokes, I'm assuming, for whatever reason. But, there you go.
What do you mean, whatever reason?
Yeah.
Holy cow. Of course.
So, the second thing is that I was going to tell you, we're going to leave it till later, but we might as well get on to it now we're on the subject, is that I will be setting up a GoFundMe page in the new year for the team. I've got a team of 4 which we're going to climb up to Everest Base Camp and do Island Peak. And a team of 4, what? Island
I'm sorry, go ahead. I just forgot. You actually had a soiree. You had a
Yeah, we did the 3 peaks. Yeah,
practice. How'd it go?
Voted. That went very well. One of the lads dropped out due to dehydration.
Yeah.
But even though he was advised, told, taught, trained to drink loads before, 2 days before, just pile the liquids in and then keep doing it. You've got to drink a litre an hour when you're doing that stuff up at height. If you don't, you knock yourself with dehydration. So he got up the second mountain about 2/3 of the way, and his kidneys just packed in on him. So they had to get him back down the mountain, which was fine. But yeah, we did the 3. We did it 1 hour 20 underneath the time that was required. So we absolutely smashed it.
So hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. There's a term you're using here, but I want to make sure you're using it correctly.
What?
We.
Oh, I didn't do it. I was a trainer coach. Just let them boys do it. But we as a team.
So you meant the royal we.
Yes, the royal we. There was no way I'm doing it 3
The Lord Farquaad. Some of you may die, but that's a chance I'm willing to take.
I send you forth. For glory. I send you forth for glory. Off you go. And all that.
Did they plant a flag in the name of Pilgrim at the top?
I think they probably didn't want to do that, although I did tell them to, but they didn't.
How did the?
I'll do the pictures on Discord. I'll fire them to Discord.
How'd the rain do? Did it?
It was
piss
what
on
you
'em?
saw. I sent you that one picture of the
Yeah.
cloud base
Yep.
at the bottom, and it was like that constantly for the three mountains. So they were very wet, they were very tired, and they were very. I think there was a bit of elation, but very put the feet up and fell asleep on the vehicle on the way back. They had 6 hours sleep in the car. So yeah, I was a bit of a lone driver at that point, but yeah.
So is that a 1 day thing? Do you actually go to one peak
Yeah,
to the next
24
peak?
hours. Yeah,
To
you
the
got to
next
do it. Yeah, you do Ben Nevis in Scotland. You've got to do it under 5 hours for the timings for the three peaks because of the transport in between.
Okay.
Then you've got to do Scafell in 4 hours or under, which is the highest peak in England. So Ben Nevis is the highest peak in Scotland. Scafell is the highest peak in England.
Okay.
And then you do Snowdon, which is basically you've been up on the
In
trail.
Wales.
Yeah, in Wales. So that's the highest peak in Wales. So that's the three highest peaks in the United Kingdom.
So did they ride down?
I dropped them off. We drove up in the car with the four of us, and then I dropped them off the following morning at the train station where they met the group that was taking them up on the hills, and then the group provided 2 minibuses to transport people between the peaks. So
Okay.
it's 6 hours from Ben Nevis to Scafell, and then it's another 6 hours from Scafell to Snowdon. So in those 6 hours, they're in the minibus, sorting themselves out, getting a bit of sleep. But it's all done within 24 hours. You can do it in 3 days. There are companies that do it in 3 days.
Yeah.
But they've got to do it within 24 hours for the certification. So they get a certificate at the end and a pat on the back and a well done and a feeling of pride and all the rest of it. And actually, out of the group of 23 that did it, 8. So a third actually failed. A third either knocked it. In fact, 2 Hooray Henrys, yuppies from London, came up with all the kit. You know, they bought all the top kit and they got all the stuff and they stood there at the bottom of the mountain. They looked up at Ben Nevis, the first mountain. They went, "No, we're not doing that." And they got back in the minibus. They knocked it before they even climbed up. So it's like, why did you come up? You know, it's one of those things that Hooray Henrys do. They sit down in London drinking pink gins. I say, let's go and do the 3 peak thing. That'll be fun. And they all get up there with all the kit, all the gear, no idea. Looked up at the mountain. It was pissing down with rain. It was the cloud base was at 6 feet. And they went, "No, we're not doing it." They got back on the bus. That's like that. Go on, do one.
Wow.
Oh, dear.
I mean, that's
So yeah.
that's what we call in the flying. That's what we call in the flying world canceling on a forecast.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you don't even try. You're like, tomorrow the weather looks crap. Cancel. We're not going.
We're not doing it. We're not doing it. Yeah, so that was interesting. But yeah, a third of the group actually they just dropped out basically for one reason whatsoever. There was one girl actually that dropped out for an injury, so that's okay. If you get injured trying, you know.
Yeah.
But basically, people were dropping out, like our guy dropped out because they're not prepared properly.
Well, so what's his status now for the rest of the mission?
He's not going with us to Everest. I've told him when we first started this this venture, I said, "I'm not babysitting anybody. I'll give you a training program that will bring you to peak fitness for Everest, and we'll give you the fitness required for the training things we're going to be doing, because next year we're going to do a different 3 peaks. I'll go into that later. But I'm not babysitting. If you can't match the requirements, you drop. Simple as that. I can't afford to take baggage to Everest. You know what I mean? So,
Have you started training on your stairs?
yeah, I'll show you something. I got these. I'm giving it some upper body strength training before I do my legs, and then I'll just walk up and down my stairs a little bit so I can, do that. There we go.
All right.
So there
I'm
we
looking
are.
forward to
So
it.
GoFundMe page, and what I'll do is I'll get a GoPro. I'm doing a diary. I'm going to write a book about this, Guido.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to do an autobiography from the day I was born to the day that I died. Well, nearly enough. I'll include it in the autobiography.
Somebody will have to include that part.
Yeah. Well, we'll do a chapter at the end that somebody else can write. But anyway, so I'll do a book. I'll get a GoPro next year sometime, and I'll get some certainly before I do the next 3 peaks, and I'll have a video diary going. And as I say, I'll have a GoFundMe page started up for the team, not for me personally, the 4 of us, to reduce the costs on the equipment and stuff like that.
Right.
Any way we can. And I've got about 3 or 4 companies who are I'm in touch with who may or may not drop us a little bit of donation. So, and we're doing it for charity as well. So we'll get all that going in the new year. But,
Jimmy,
that's a good idea, Gator. Yeah.
Jimmy wants to know if there's a Starbucks at the top.
There's a Starbucks.
There is on Snowden.
At Snowden, there's a cafe.
It's not a Starbucks, but there is a cafe on top of Snowden.
Yeah.
I highly recommend the tram.
Yeah, yes. Less effort.
It's pretty cool too, because it goes up some very. It kind of has that thing where it sort of levels off and it carries you up the thing and.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Check this out. What am I wearing here?
What you got? Oh yeah, look at that. That is cool.
I got a jumper on.
Yeah. It must be very cold there.
Yeah, man, it dropped down to 60 Fahrenheit. It's freezing.
Wow, that is like icicles on the end of your nose when you step.
We got a warning out. Do not go outside. Do not go outside unless you're prepared.
No, I take it. The storm passed by without.
We did not get hit. Yeah, it hit down by Tampa, so it tore up Tampa and across the peninsula. But I think it turned out to not quite be. Obviously, some people had some significant damage, but the storm surge wasn't nearly what they thought it would be. Bad enough to flood the lowland.
They called it a level 4 at one point, didn't they? Or...
It was, but I think it actually hit as a high 3, and it might have been a low 4, high 3.
Okay.
There's not once you get to close to 4, there's not a lot of difference in terms of the destructiveness, because the speed of the wind is such that more or less everything gets tore up by it.
Yeah.
So thankfully for us, anyway, I hate to say that, but obviously with Helene, the one that went before it.
I mean, it's the luck of the draw with weather, isn't it? You can't dictate, or you can't even forecast where these things are going to go. So it could well have gone your way, couldn't it?
Did you see the Northern Lights? Did it come down far enough south your way?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. I've got pictures. I'll do that on Discord as well in your channel.
Is that the second time this year for you?
Yeah, we had the green and then we had the red. This time it was red.
Yeah.
It's quite cool. Because I was asking about why is the colour change, and somebody was saying depends on the particles in the atmosphere. So the more iron particles, you get more red, and then green is whatever the other metal in there. So
Stickler saw it in Central Illinois. I saw it out the window of the plane coming from Anchorage. They was actually up in Anchorage, but I had such long days up there. I didn't get up at 1 a.m. to see them. I just slept through them.
So I was going to say, it only gets dark for like 4 hours a day up there, doesn't it?
Actually, it's fascinating. So it does get to that way. Not quite that short in Anchorage, but certainly shorter. What's interesting that I didn't realize is I got there the first night. I flew in. I got in at like 7:30, and I expected it to be full on dark, but the light is shifted, I guess, right. So essentially, it doesn't get light until like 9 in the morning.
Right. Okay.
But in Alaska, like any of the northern climes, if you remember, when the sun rises and sets, it takes a long time.
Yes.
Because it doesn't come up and over the horizon. It comes at an angle.
An angle,
yeah. So you'll get the light kind of starting, and it just takes forever to get brighter and brighter and brighter.
Yeah.
So the light is, I'm assuming it's the same in Norway, but it may have to do with the way they've got their time zones set up. I don't know, but it's shifted to the right. So it didn't get dark until much later than I thought, but it didn't get light. It didn't get light until much later than I thought. So if you were going to work at 6 or 7 in the morning, you're in full dark for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Before it gets light.
Yeah. This is why they say, like in Iceland, when they have the days of solid light, basically they get like an hour's darkness, I think, in Iceland at some point. And because the sun just travels along the horizon, doesn't get below it, just stays on the horizon, and just goes round. So, I mean, amazing, absolutely amazing. Yes, the Earth is flat, Jimmy. There we go. I thought we'd confirm it in some way on this channel. You heard it first on this channel.
You can't let those secrets out, man. Cliffy says some other Okies. Oh, really? So it did come pretty far south then. Wow. That's awesome.
Wow.
I did not see it here. Florida didn't see it.
Well, you know what? Amazing, fascinating, isn't it? As I said, I'll post all the pictures up on Discord, what I've got anyway.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, I sent it.
So yeah, that was a good old visit for you then, going up there and seeing all that.
Yeah, I saw so much family.
Yeah. Alaska.
Yeah, it was good to see him. It wasn't. I figured it might be covered in snow, but I guess they haven't had their big first snow. I got one spritz of snow like one of the mornings, It's the time of season where it's deciding whether it wants to snow or rain, and it kind of does both at the same time.
But it's proper fall, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All the
yeah.
leaves have turned already. I guess they said about a week and a half, 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks ago, it was very pretty with the. They have a lot of aspens, quaking aspens up there, which is I'm familiar with from back home in Utah. But yeah, all the leaves have definitely turned, and most of them fallen off the trees. So it's.
I just think it's the most beautiful part of the year. I like we call it autumn, obviously, but I like fall, autumn. I think, the colour, when you go out in the countryside, it's just amazing to walk in, amazing to be in. It's really good for your mental health, I think.
Yep. So it was all good. Let's see. Let's go. What do we got going on then? Channel news and such. Well, I don't have a whole lot of channel news because obviously I haven't been here for a week.
Right.
I didn't play much of anything. In fact, I don't remember. Maybe Sunday. I probably played some games on Sunday. Okay. Last Sunday. But we're still
okay with your
what?
100 battle challenge.
Still working that. Yeah. Let me go over here to the
Zimbo. It did. Dear.
Is it back? You're bringing it back?
Yeah, I'm bringing it back. It's I'm keeping it like a little bit longer than this, but I think that's allowable. That's it's not allowable. It's just no longer commented on. So I'm sort of taking the silence as as acquiescent, maybe. You're
taking
until then.
You're taking some dangerous liberties, is what you're saying.
I think that's where I'm at. Yeah.
Good luck.
Sure. Yeah.
Check light tanks.
What are you doing on your 100 battles?
We're kind of all over the place. I keep creeping more and more tanks in there because I sort of get bored with some of the ones I'm playing.
Right.
But we're getting a little bit serious with the Lorraine 50T. I'm sitting at 59% on that. About maybe 50 battles, 40, 50, 44.
Right. Okay.
Working on that guy. I like that tank. It's not amazing, but I love the mobility of it.
Yeah.
That's the nice thing about it. It doesn't have a whole lot of armor, so it's a little tough at times to play it really like a heavy tank. But if you play it as a heavy medium, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
We've got I am playing a bit of the Patton, which is better than it ought to should be.
Right.
Pretty average overall. I'm playing I've been doing all the check lights. The Selma.
Were you not doing the KR? Was that what you were doing? The Patton KR?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the KR. It's, I don't know, I've marked it, I think. Yeah, I did mark it. So we're 40 battles on it, 250? 33. 33 battles, cruising along. What do we got? A 52% win rate. What else? All the tier 6s, but those are on hold until the new Battle Pass starts, which will be...
Yeah.
Well, this is the last one of this year, right? Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you bothering with the Grom? Are you just letting it roll?
I didn't get it. Yeah. It's not happening because where am I on it? How you guys do? Did anybody get it? I only have a 30% discount now, so it ain't happening.
I'm nowhere near it.
Yeah.
Nowhere near it.
That may be one of the first, although I suppose there was another premium thing I didn't get recently. That may be one of the first premiums for probably 6 or 7 years since I was a CC that I didn't end up with. So I'm not getting that.
Funny old thing, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's, it is definitely. Well, I want to say not overpowered, but it's definitely a problem in the game. In so much that it's a problem when you come up against them. I was in a light tank just this morning while before you guys got out of bed. I was playing my EU account. I was on I was playing my light, one of my lights, 1357. And it was whatever map it was. You go up the hill. On the right hand side, there's a hill. There's train tracks that run right across the middle. I can't remember what it's called, the map anyway, but it's a Himmelsdorf one anyway. No, it's not. And the heavies go to the left of the little brawling area and all that sort of stuff. And there's a bridge that goes across with the train tracks between the two maps. Anyway,
the double spawn.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So, long story cut short, I get up the hill very quickly, not expecting to see a Grom sat there waiting for me. I was like, seriously, it took 800 of my 832 hit points off me. Just boom. I was like, oh, I don't like this. So it's fast. It's as fast as that anyway. Obviously his spawn might have been further towards that point. But he was just come up the hill as I was coming up, as I got up the hill, and he was ready to fire as I got up to the hill, and just got absolutely mullered. So yes, is it overpowered? I don't know. It's definitely an influencer on the game.
Yeah, I mean the numbers
Anyway,
looked fairly average, but anything that slaps you that hard is gonna leave a mark, leave an impression. Yeah. Good morning, O'Brute. I missed you earlier, man. Zimbo says, was it Zimbo? Zimbo says his uncle drove a KR during the Korean War.
Awesome.
Wow. Holy cow.
See, you don't think with the Korean War that there was an awful lot of tank. You tend to think it was more like Vietnam with a lot of jungle work, but there was open plains in Korea. There was a little bit of that, wasn't there?
Yeah. Actually, there was quite a bit of tank warfare in the Korean War because the Russians or the Chinese, or maybe Russians or both, supplied them with quite a few T-34 tanks, I believe, especially during their pushes when they made the actual big invasions.
Yeah.
Starship looks like it is off the ground, fellas.
Well, that's good.
His tank did get knocked out. It was captured. Oh, geez, Zimba. Holy cow, man.
Shit, man, that's bad.
All right, Starship is up, fellas.
Way.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done, Elon.
At the moment, they're going to try to catch it. You know what we're talking about?
No. Who are they catching?
They're going to try to bring the Starship itself back and catch it on the gantry. I don't remember what they call it.
Way.
Oh yeah, they got the two forks, and it's supposed to come down, and it's supposed to grab those two big wings or fins, and it's going to clunk.
Yeah. I thought they might be going to the International Space Station and then coming back down.
No, this is just, I don't know if it's how many times it's gonna. They're going for the chopstick catch. Are they just gonna launch it and come right back, or is it actually gonna orbit first, Cliffy? I don't know what the profile is today. It is suborbital. Okay, so it's gonna come right back. This is just to do the catch, I guess.
Oh, that's got to be seen. That's got to be seen.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that. And I know really now the space exploration thing has become very commercial because, NASA have taken the foot off the pedal because of the funding side. So you've got the Elon Musks and so on doing the commercial side, but so we're not having the Challenger aircraft and all that sort of good stuff doing regular trips up and down. It will be the commercial people who get this going, but to have a reusable like that. Which comes up and down. It's not unique because we've had, Endeavour, Challenger, and all those, but it is unique to the commercial aspect. So if it becomes viable commercially, space flight is ever closer for the normal user, isn't it?
They just separated the lower stage from the Starship.
Wow.
I think the Starship's maybe turning around now. It's hard to tell what they're doing. That's crazy, man. All right, so I'm going to keep an eye on that as we go, fellas. I don't know what the legalities are of me showing it while it's going on, so I'm just going to let that go.
Zimbo, do it, and I'll...
Yes, Zimbo, please.
Or do it to me in a whisper, and I'll put it in.
He might be.
You might be able to do it, Zimbo.
I don't know if he's a mod or not.
No.
Time out.
No, okay.
I don't think he is. I don't know why he isn't. I think I ran out of mods. I need to look at that.
Whisper it to me and I'll post it.
Yeah, I must have max mods because I don't have an ability to mod you. It's coming up. I don't know what that word was supposed to be, Cliffy. Did you say a naughty word? Yeah, so Grom. Grom's not happening. It's all good. Got a few goodies along the way. I might finish the one more. I'm at 30%. Did anybody say they actually got it? Did any of you guys actually grind this bad boy out?
I didn't see anything. No, I think the best I saw was a 30%.
Yeah, Zimbo said 30. Someone said they might hit 40 or 50 or whatever it was. Don't know. All right. Hope its battery doesn't catch on fire. It's not battery powered, Grindel. It's unicorn farts.
Yes, it is. It's magical.
Dude,
Randall reckons he can get the Grom for 60%.
It appears to still be in one piece, flying around.
Cool.
They got some great video of it this time, guys. It's bright enough you can. They're tracking it. I tell you what, every time I see a video, especially the last part, because if you're looking at the sky, you don't get any kind of relative motion or movement or what the thing's doing. But every time you see a video of these things getting near the ground, and the speed, once you see the ground and you get and the speed of it coming in, and then it just hits those rockets, and then it just slows down and it lands, you're like, I am watching a movie. This is AI. This is not a real thing.
It's not real, but it is.
Dude.
It's just mad, isn't it?
So it's still 137 kilometers up there. I think it's trying to, I guess it's doing its burns to come back. That's what it looks like. I think it's still climbing slightly too. Huh.
You've got it in live. I'm trying to find it live.
Yeah, just go to YouTube and put in
yeah.
SpaceX or Starship launch or something. There's like a dozen channels that cover it. So they take the feed from SpaceX and then redo it, and then they put their own graphics on it and stuff. So you can kind of pick whichever one you want to watch.
Oh yeah, got it.
But it's still climbing. So I guess it's just kind of gone ballistic, and they're just maneuvering it to get it ready to come back in.
I got it. Yeah.
Oh, now that shot looks like it's coming back. Holy cow, man, this is crazy.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, you see it? They got a picture of the big cylinder just play, so you don't get the relative.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's doing its... Yeah.
Fired its... Whoa, dude.
Today on SpaceX Launch Coffee Talk.
Yeah. No way that's going to make it look.
Oh, dude, is it doing it?
Yeah.
No.
Wow, you can actually see. Wow.
Are you shitting me? Right. They did it.
Yeah.
It looks like it touched the gantry. Yeah, I think it's on fire.
Yeah, somebody with a hose pipe needs to just sort that out.
Yeah, I think it's burning a little bit, but it...
I mean, that's just residual fuel, isn't it?
I don't know. There looks to be a fire at the bottom. I'm not sure. I think it touched the gantry. That looks like a fire that's probably not supposed to be there. Yeah. But it caught it, by God. Yeah, there's a fire.
Isn't it?
That's not good. There's a fire on the bottom. I wonder what they have to suppress that.
I don't think there's anything on board, is there? They would have to do something external. Wow.
Lead, you're on fire.
Yeah. Houston.
Uh-oh. That's not good. That little fire right there is not looking good. That doesn't look good.
You want to see the chat on the NASA website? It's absolutely bananas. It's going absolutely bananas about put the fire out, put the fire out.
Oh, are they? Yeah.
Somebody. Wow.
That's wild.
History is definitely being made there, isn't it?
That is a massive ship as well.
Did you see the way that the flame that was coming out from the bottom was directed? It could actually move the rockets, basically.
Yeah, I don't know if some of the
Because
engines,
that way, then that way. You know?
I think some of the engines are slightly angleable, movable, whatever. Yeah.
Amazing, absolutely amazing.
That's crazy. Yeah, there's
a bit of future there.
Holy macaroni.
That's history in the making, sir.
Wow.
Live on Coffee Talk today.
What's the scene, guys, from Jurassic Park, the first one? You crazy son of a bitch, you did it. Holy cow.
Next week is commercial passenger service to the moon.
That's crazy. All right. Anyway, back to tanks. But back to important stuff.
Yeah.
I guess. Grom, let's see. Grom, yeah, not happening. What else? What else are we doing? I'm still playing a bit of Panzer General 2. Still doing a little bit of Helldivers. Who knows? Who knows where we go in the future, fellas? Who knows? The old DCS as well. Oh, Brute, you in this Monday? It's a holiday, so I don't know. You know,
you got a holiday? What's the holiday Monday? Is it American National Holiday? Is it?
Is it Martin Luther King Day? Maybe.
Okay.
All I know is I don't work.
Yeah.
Columbus Day?
Employee. I don't have to work on these days. I explained to my house general that unless you're in certain occupations, so either the federal occupation or one of the two, a few other big companies, that you guys don't get holiday pay. So if you take a holiday, you just have to do without pay. Do you know what I mean? You don't get vacation pay. I know federal does, but and some companies do, but it's
That
not
yeah, that
pay.
depends. That depends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some companies have certain amount of days with pay.
With pay.
Yeah.
Over here, it's almost like a God-given right. Paid holidays. I think we get 23 to 30 days paid holiday a year, not including bank holidays.
Yeah, I the whole Americans get this, don't get this, we do better is largely bullshit.
Yes.
It really is. Yeah. It really is. And I get it. There are generally you're talking about lower paying jobs, entry levels that just don't have that stuff. Whereas in Europe generally entry levels also have that, but I was just talking to a friend, his daughter and son-in-law just had a baby. And they're older. Yeah. They're in their early 40s. They've been trying, and it's just kind of a miracle thing that happened. And she has 6 months of maternity leave. He has 3
What?
Of paternity leave.
She's just like, well, really?
Now they have.
I've never figured that one out, Guido. I've never figured out why the bloke gets holidays. So,
yeah.
Because he's not exactly carrying it around for 9 months, is he? So.
I mean, they got great jobs. They're pretty far up in their businesses because they're in their 40s. So noted, not your 20-year-old isn't going to have stuff like that, but it's definitely out there.
Yeah.
Putting son and daughter-in-law on a boat Monday, keeping grandkids with us. Oh wow. Wow. How they know it's Columbus Day, I think somebody also said there. Indigenous, has it been renamed to Indigenous Persons Day? I didn't know that.
Okay. Well, I'll go there. Sorry.
Well, that's the whole, that's when we discovered the Americas, and all the people here are like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, this is our land.
We already discovered it.
But, okay, we won't even go there because we have to give the indigenous people a day of their own. I mean,
I don't, whatever, man. That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't really care about that, but it's like the history of the world. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, it's like when the Brits, when the United Kingdom invaded everywhere and everything was a colony to the United Kingdom, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's just the way the world was back then.
I think the whole north of Africa would probably like their lands back from the Arabs.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and especially from any French influence. Get that out there.
The Air Force gives paternity leave? I did not know that. I did not know that.
Oh dear, oh dear.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
all right.
I don't know. Let's not go there, mate.
Easy.
Let's not go there. To be honest, I was glad I didn't get any holidays because, I mean, who wants to deal with a tiny little human being that just empties its bowels every 5 minutes and also spews up on you every 5? I mean, who needs that? I was quite happy to go on deployment when my kids were born. Send me somewhere, please, sir.
Pilgrim's kids weren't born, and he told his wife, let me know when they're 10.
Yeah, let me know when they've stopped involuntary farting, shitting, and spewing, and then I'll come home.
I'll meet them when they're 10 years old. All right, make sure they know how to do the dishes. Okay. Missions and specials. Somebody mentioned it as Canadian, so we have entered into the season of holidays because
we have
in World of Tanks, the official kickoff to that is sort of a Waffentrager, but really. For me, anyway, it's Canadian Thanksgiving, which is earlier than our Thanksgiving. So it is Canadian Thanksgiving. Is that this weekend, Canadians? Either this one or next one, right?
Yeah.
So
read it somewhere.
So here we go. The kickoff is here. What's in the boxes? That's all we want to know.
Yeah. Are there going to be boxes with decent loot in or not? No, they won't be because it's only Christmas that you get gold in.
Dudes, it's possible from what I'm reading, we'll go over it. We might be getting those tiered boxes. I don't know if they're going to turn the corner for this particular Christmas, but my understanding is those tiered boxes are a thing and they're going to happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not happy with that at all.
Can you still buy?
That's a disincentive, I think.
Is it?
Disincentive.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Oh, Waffentrager boxes are gone. Okay, because Waffentrager's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we did Waffentrager boxes. We jumped right into Grom marathon.
No, I like that idea. I mean, if I like the marathons, I think that's a fair way to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know why because it's been far and few between the marathons. I think this is the first one this year, isn't it? If I'm right.
It's the first one of these in 2 years or 3 or something like that.
2 years, yeah.
Yeah, this style anyway, this kind that's not attached to a battle pass or it's a special battle pass section. This is a one-off grind for the Grom. You like it better this way, Cliffy? Yeah. No tanks, just rentals this year.
And extra decals, yeah, absolutely.
So many decals. I haven't heard any kind of rumblings about whether they're going to... I wonder if they'll have a star this year. Do you think they're going to do that again?
It could have ran its course because they did Arnie 2 years running, didn't they?
Yeah, but then they did Timu Arnie. The British guy, whatever he is.
Yeah. Yeah. He was an ex-footballer. Think of his name.
Yeah.
Highly unimportant. Highly important. Unimportant. Yeah. Whatever.
That was actually weird. I just remembered that. I just remember that now. That was kind of strange. In the central U.S., it's sunset, and then about 3 minutes after. Vinnie Jones, that's the guy. Does anyone know when the East Coast can see the comet? Yeah, it's really low on the horizon, is my understanding. So if you don't have some kind of standoff where you can, if you got a bunch of trees around or something, it might be hard to find. You're going to have to find a little bit of an open area. And it only comes up about 10, 20 degrees off the horizon, at least where we are. So I wasn't able to find it. I think it was supposed to be brightest yesterday. There's a comet out there that you can see with the naked eye, apparently.
Got you. All right. See, Low Blow will be onto that. Low Blow wants to go camping, night camping.
I saw that.
Put it in. Yeah, I'm like, oh, that's not a bad idea, actually. That might be quite cool. Bit of a barbecue going on in that. So, yeah, I might do that. There'll be some more pickies.
Yeah?
Dylan Mulvaney is the celeb this year. Don't think so, Brendan. Yeah, possibly, though. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Oh, dear.
What happened to that dude? He was all over the place 2 years ago, a year ago, and he's disappeared. Is this 15 minutes over?
I think it. Yeah, I think.
I'm gonna get canceled because I'm dead gendering him or whatever. Gotta keep calling him him. Yeah, I'm the problem.
Yeah, we are the problem.
Well, he was acting and doing Broadway and all kinds of stuff. You know, I mean, he had a career. The whole thing is so strange. McKay, yeah, it's crazy, man. I apologize. I call everyone man. Whatever. Anyway. That's a whole thing we don't want to get into. Everyone can. I'm going to declare it. Everyone can do what they want because Guido said.
Well, that's exactly right. Guido has said, just do your own thing. Know what I mean? Pilgrim backs him up.
We should all do our own things and worry about ourselves.
I still think.
Worry about your own self.
Yeah, you do that. What? That thing behind you that you call a lamp, it looks like a chess piece to me.
That's because the stupid.
It's quite cool.
I know, but
it's cool.
I turn it off and it gets too dark, and then I turn it on and it looks like.
Leave it on because I think it's awesome. It looks like a white queen.
Yeah.
It looks like the white queen off a chess set.
Yeah, and then a big bright spot where the thing is. If I was smarter, which I'm not, I'd have a better setup in here, but that's how we roll.
Well, you don't need to be smarter. I just like that. I like that as an aesthetic. It's a nice effect. I don't have that behind me. Look what I've got behind me. I've got the spare bedroom, and then the things that I'm allowed to have.
That's your one shelf, isn't it? That's
my one shelf in the house. There, yeah. You've seen it. You've seen this house.
I've
not
seen
belong
it.
To me.
No.
You've been up and down my stairs and thinking, where's all Pilgrim stuff? Well, Pilgrim stuff is just there.
And I think, when I do that, I think, not in my house. In my house. Yeah. I have this corner.
Oh, dear.
You know, all right, I'm I gotta show it to you on the camera.
You just have this corner, don't you?
I have
Not even all of it.
I was almost gonna have this whole room as kind of my office area, and then
Yeah.
all right, it's my own fault. I did this to myself. I'm gonna be
Okay.
honest
Okay.
because I said that there used to be a pub table in that side of the room over there, and
Yeah.
we'd play cards or whatever, and people could sit around. But this corner is now insane. It's a clutter of my stuff. It's
Yes.
I mean I got my throttle quadrant and my VR thing, and I've got 14 little
Right.
doodad. It's just a mess.
Important stuff, though.
Yeah.
Important stuff. Yeah.
So she's like, "Well, I don't want the pub table in there anymore. I want to put it somewhere where all my friends don't have to look at all your crap." I'm like, "All right, well, the new back room is now newly open because the daughter's moved out and has a job. So it was an addition we did, it was like a kids' room that we did. So we put the pub table there, and I said, let's take the couch where the kids in the kids' room. We'll put it in here, and rearrange it. But what happened was, then everything started creeping in here. So now I've lost half the room again. So we turned it into this.
There you go. There you go. And I bet your mocker uses that couch.
Yes. So we kind of did that little thing going on
You see,
over
that's
there.
a House General's corner in your study, bro. That is a man cave being decimated by a House General. That is not good.
That's what I'm
That is
saying,
not good.
Pilgrim. That's my.
Yeah. And me, I've still got the shed. I've still got my shed, so I don't care. But man, you have been decimated.
It's hard. It's hard. It's a hard life, Pilgrim. It's a hard.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely, Jimmy. Get a beer cooler. Stick it next to the sofa. That makes sense then.
I do have a beer. I have a beer fridge right outside the door on the porch, so that's good. I
That's good.
I do have a beer fridge, so that's good.
That's good.
Yeah. That's what happens, right? Because it's mission creep.
It is mission creep, isn't it?
Yeah.
It started off with a good idea that just turned sour overnight.
Yep. And as
Jeez.
I fully accept my failings, and I made that happen.
Well, all I can say is that come Christmas and you're still doing the dishes after Christmas dinner, you've only got yourself to blame. That's what I'm saying.
I do the dishes. I don't have a problem with
I
that.
know, I do as well.
I
I
do.
do after Christmas.
I don't care. I do dishes all the time.
Do you know why I do the dishes? Do you do the same reason why you do the dishes?
Because you get
I do
hit.
the
Because you get hit if you don't.
Well, there is that. Yes, there is that. There is the threat of physical violence. But over and above that, it's the one job that I can get away with doing to a modicum of efficiency. If it was the washing machine or some other technical aspect of the house, I failed completely. So I'm allowed to do the dishes. I'm allowed.
Our deal, Sergeant Major Rock, is whoever does one doesn't do the other. So
That's a fair.
I cook at times, she cooks at times, and the other one generally. A lot of times we help each other out. We
Sure.
usually do some of both, but depends on how each one of our days gone and all that kind of stuff. I like cooking actually. I got nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with cooking.
I like cooking, but I don't like cooking with the House General. I like cooking. I don't like the interference.
See,
Either my way or no way.
so you're like my house general. I like taking like if there's a recipe, that's a suggestion to me. I mean, in general, I'll do it. I mean, I'm not going to use chocolate in place of rice or something stupid,
Yeah.
But I will add stuff or do it a little different the way I want to do it,
Yeah.
My Frau,
flakes in here, whatever it might be. But
and if
whatever.
my Frau, this is the recipe, and thou shalt not change the recipe.
They are like two peas in a pod. Your House General and mine, because she's exactly the same. It's the recipe or no way.
Right.
Nothing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if I get in there at all and try to do anything, I'm in trouble.
Yes. Yeah. What are you adding that for? That doesn't belong to the recipe.
Exactly. Right.
Sorry. You're like, what?
Because this recipe, darling, would be amazing with some andouille sausage in it.
Yeah. Yes.
I love your pasta, this little thing, but how about we grill up some sausage and chuck that in there?
Oh dear. Yeah.
Well, see, I'm the kind of guy, Cliffy. I can go in there and just start grabbing stuff off the shelf, and I'll make a meal out of whatever I have in there.
Yeah, I love it. I love doing that.
And it's usually
Some of
pretty,
the best meals I've had.
usually pretty decent. But
Yeah.
and God forbid. So the worst recipe to mess with are her mom's.
Oh yes, yes, I've learned that lesson.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And her
Yes.
mom's got some pretty dang good recipes and some really
Yes.
menu of dinners that I really
Yeah.
love. But on occasion, I attempted to sort of modify them,
Yes, that
and
doesn't-
that is
no, that
right
doesn't-
out,
No.
right
I
out.
did it once, mate. I did it once. Apple crumble. Mum's apple crumble, which is like, I don't know if you have it over there, but it's like like an apple pie, but the pie top isn't pastry. It's crumble. It's
My
butter and flour and sugar.
my
and
Brit
straw.
friend's wife,
Crumble.
my other Brit friend's wife makes a crumble that's absolutely,
Crumble.
but
Yeah.
it's not apple. What is it? It's rhubarb.
Rhubarb crumble, yeah, they're
Oh.
absolutely. Oh yeah, delicious to die for. Only don't eat the green leaves because they're poisonous.
Yeah, don't.
Just take the stalks. Anyway, long story cut short, I did. I thought I'd had a few additions to the crumble that I made from her mum's recipe. That went straight. Strange enough, we had a dog at the time. The dog had that crumble. None of the family got to taste it because once she realised that I'd had a few pinches of cloves and stuff to the just to give it that sort of as you would. It's an apple thing, and she was like, "That's not the way."
Tossed
my
it?
mother-" Yeah, it went straight to the bin.
Oh, passive
So, yeah.
aggressive. I like it.
Yeah, that was really. But yeah, that's very nice looking, but it's nothing like what you would.
You're not eating that.
told to
You
do.
ruined it.
You're not eating
You
that.
get none
the
of it.
dog's getting it. Yeah, the dog's getting it. Anyway, sorry. Well, we're back to tanks at some point, are we?
Cliffy's got a good point though. If it is something I've not ever made, I will absolutely
Follow the
try to
recipe.
do the
Yeah,
recipe.
absolutely, yeah.
Do you have the meals that get delivered to your house that are kind of pre-packed and then you make?
Yes.
Like all the doodads
Yeah.
are in it and it's all in
yeah,
case
yeah,
and you
yeah,
can
yeah.
order it and it comes in
Yeah.
the mail and all that.
Yeah.
Those are really interesting. We did that a couple times. We have some friends doing it every now and again. And
Yeah.
they always say, 30 minutes prep time. Well, going back to what Cliffy said, you've never made that meal before. It's not 30 minutes. Each one of those took me like an hour and a half. By the time you unpackage it and try to figure out what's doing first
Yeah.
and whatever, you're slow because you just haven't done it yet. That was my biggest knock against them. The time they estimated was if you knew how to make that meal already. And it
Yes,
took me anywhere
absolutely.
from 2 to 3 times every time. So it was always a process. So that kind of put me off of them a little bit. It's
There's
called
an opinion
pizza.
about those that it's not called pizza. Yeah.
It's called pizza.
It's called Domino.
A meal delivered to your house.
Yeah.
It's called pizza.
Already cooked. You don't have to do anything. There's
called
no
pizza.
prep time.
That's fantastic, Jimmy.
Oh dear. Well, there are opinions about those things. Is that they're very expensive for what they are. But if you actually break it, they are. If it's a family of 4, I believe that if you were to get those packaged meals sent to you for a family of 4, it probably works out a lot more expensive than if you did home cooking.
So it's in
But I
between.
think for 2 people,
It's in between going out and buying it yourself at the grocery store and putting it together.
yeah.
But here's the advantage of it, and I think this cost is not caught very well by people sometimes because, and I think it's definitely a first world advantage. We all know we go to the grocery store, buy stuff, and we waste a lot because we don't eat it. Now, some of you may be better at this than I am, but I'll buy, I don't know, a bag of vegetables or a thing of vegetables, tomatoes or whatever.
Yeah.
And we'll use them, but there's always 1 or 2 that doesn't get used.
Yeah.
You know? So with
There's always
these,
wastage, isn't there?
right, with these kits, there's generally no wastage. You're going to eat pretty much everything in
Eat
that
everything.
meal
Yeah, no,
that's
I get
in
it.
the
I get
kit.
it.
So yes, while if you parted out the kit and built it yourself, going to the grocery store, you would get it cheaper. But I don't.
Cheaper,
With
yeah.
the wastage, I don't know. The calculation may be a little closer.
Yeah. Oh, Brute's got it right. Hello Fresh, we've got that over here, and
Yep,
it becomes
that's the
very
one.
samey. Yeah,
Yeah.
they have half a dozen different menus, and it becomes very samey. But we've never tried it, but we costed it, and it costed it for 2 people. It works out over a month, quite pretty much the same as doing home shopping.
Yeah.
But I think for a family of 4, you start to then bleed over your finances
Right.
a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Salt made your rock, I'll eat everything.
I will say that at my age now, where I'm not quite eating as much and attempting to not eat as much, even the 2-person meals had leftovers usually for us.
Yeah.
When the boy was
So-
around, Mr. Hoover boy, there was no leftovers.
Can you remember going back? I mean, we'll get back to tanks at some point, I'm sure. But going back when you were teenagers, how you could just eat forever and just still be slim, fit, and everything
Yeah.
else. And if you think back to if you ate like that now, you'd be like 300 pound overnight, wouldn't you?
See, honestly, I was able to do that until I was about 45.
Yeah, because of the exercise, the physical fitness, I guess.
That and the flying, and
natural genetics.
yeah, my dad was that way, but he said that to me. He's like, well, just wait till you're 40 or so, or mid 40s, and he was right, man. I never worried about any of it. What I ate, it didn't matter what I ate until I was about 45, and now it matters.
Yeah, it does matter now. Yeah.
That's my secret, Captain. I've always been husky. I can't eat the same thing every day, Sergeant Major. I can go for a couple days, like for lunch with leftovers, if it's a good leftover. But like eating.
Oh yeah, if it's like a big bake or something like that. Yeah, absolutely.
But just eating the same thing over and over, I can't do that. Gain enough seniority to make the young guys do it. Yeah, there you go, Grindle. Yep.
Exactly the way it's at.
The curse of the supervision. Yeah. I'm going to exercise my mouth this morning, and that's about it.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, where are we? Tanks.
Oh, man, I don't know. Did we even get to subjects? No, we're in missions and specials, I think.
Missions and specials. Let's get this done.
So, end of Rolling Thunder, fellas. It looks like today.
Yeah.
You all should probably know that, but if you go to missions and we look at Rolling Thunder, it goes to the 14th tomorrow morning, basically. So, if you need to finish the grind, now is the time. Now is the time. What else we got? We've got Canadian Thanksgiving, as I said. If you go over to missions here, you can see what those are. Relatively easy. The Canadian Challenge. What are we getting out of this? Decals. I think some of these are sellable. Got a few kits, some more decals, Canadian flags. I know those are sellable. And then some. What do we call these? The expirable personal reserves.
Yeah, they are. I guess we call them that.
Yeah, temporary, whatever.
Yeah.
In the Dominions. So a few little doodads there just by playing the game. There's not really anything else going on mission wise. But once this is gone, the marathon, Battle Pass goes to when? End of November?
Yeah, I think it is just before the loot boxes kick in for December, isn't it?
November. Oh, look at that. You hover, it tells you how many days. You got 43 days, fellas. 43 days. I'm on 17 of the second chapter.
Yeah, I'm on 6 of the second chapter.
So more or less on track. I think I might have fallen back a little bit, but I'm more or less on track to finish this thing.
But the good thing about Battle Pass is that almost everything you do in the game gets you Battle Pass points.
I think I can get I can get the. All right. Cool.
Oh, that's good.
What else did I get? I did. Oh, there you go. I now have the last tank.
There you are.
I am going to purchase, my friends, the TS-60 right now. Garage slot and that thing. Boom. Yep, we're gonna do it.
Excellent.
I just went 100. I just won 100 battles backwards on my 100 battle challenge.
You did, yeah. Just set yourself up again.
Dang it! I'm never gonna finish it.
Good on you.
They've released too many tanks. There's no way at the rate at which I'm playing that I will ever finish the daggum 100 battle challenge. But that's all right. At this point, it's just getting me to play tanks. No one else really plays a whole bunch,
Yeah, there is that. Or tanks that you've played in the past that you haven't really given us stuff for, and then you're given time for
just,
it.
Cool. Just play different tanks, so that's cool. I am enjoying, fellas, I do like the Czech light tanks. Although, I'm not doing particularly well in the Selma. I'm at 44%, but I think I'm fairly low with battle count. 43.
See, I actually messaged the guy after I know I shouldn't, but I did. I had a playing this morning before you guys got out of bed. And I had a game, I was in a LT-432, the premium light tank, Soviet light tank. Very low down, looks like the LT-100. So I was in that. There was a Selma on the other side and a ELC. And it was that one where you've got the open field. You've got the city part and then the open field on the side of it.
Yeah.
And, there's got those interesting bushes that everybody knows where to go. Well, I got down into the dip. I was on the south spawn, right-hand spawn as you look at the map.
Yeah.
And I got down into the dip with those little bunkers either side, and they've got a dip the opposite side with a bunker on. And a Barusk came up. so none of the lights came up. It was the Borusk. So I managed to get him spotted, and he was about half HP. And as I poked up, I must have been proxy spotted with the Borusk, because a 60 TP walloped me for nearly half my hit points. Right, so I dropped back down into the dip, tried to get away from that little blue circle, get away from being proxy lit, and this bloody Selma come flying over. Never mind all my people behind me supporting me, came flying over and just wasted me, right? Completely wasted me. So I was like fuming. I was like, yeah. And I calmed down. I thought, I'm going to send him a little GG, proper GG, well done, And I know what I mean? I should not have done this, but basically I went, first of all, he was anonymized. So I put, why is your name hidden? Are you something special, comma, right?
Hold on. Hold on. Did you not start that whole thing off with, I was going to send him a GG?
Well, yes, I was, but
you
caveat that with a little bit of salt. You know what I mean? So why are you?
That's the opposite of a GG. That's like saying with all due respect.
So, comma. However, GG. But just to caveat that GG, it was a Selma, which in that situation was obviously overpowered, which doesn't make you a good player. GG. He never got back to me. I don't know. Let me have a look. Did he get back to me? No, he never got back to me. He probably just ignored.
Oh, fellas, that is apparently a GG according to Pilgrim.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
A screaming, you're a cheater. Oh, by the way, GG, you're a cheater.
Anonymized name with an overpowered tank. Yeah,
the Selma, and to some extent, if you're in the 300 to about 600 hit point regime, especially for the Selma, you're bait for them. They can come in and gun you down.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful with those around, because people will sell out. They'll Selma out.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's good. Well done. Yeah, I see what you did there.
I see it.
But I had 3 TDs and a medium behind me, and not one of them managed to hit him.
Yeah.
He just flew over that ridge, blacked me, and flew back over again. I was like, yeah, this is not good.
And the tears started rolling then.
They did, yes. Yeah. I can feel the salt.
So angry. Pilgrim's GG.
Yeah. You try harder, yeah. Thanks, MP.
GG means you great Goomba for Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Giant Goomba. So Selma-wise, 43 battles, only 44%, only 783 experience. I die a lot in this thing, trying to do too much with it early. That's my problem.
Right.
I sort of figured out with the Blesk, but with the Selma, the gun is better. So I've had some big games. I've actually have a mastery. I've aced this thing like twice. So I've had some big games, but I have a lot of 0 damage games in this tank. In fact, am I averaging? No, I'm not. I thought I was averaging maybe less than the 8, but these are interesting because my average damage with them is lower, I think, than my other tier 9. So 1200, this guy's at 13, this guy's at 14. Yeah, that's wild. What about the Brit one? G-Sor. Kind of a similar. I like them, but like you said, that they're hard to do well in, and for me anyway. The Blesk and the T-17 seem to be better at tier for me than the Selma.
Right.
But I think I prefer playing the Selma, which is weird.
Isn't it just? Yeah. But maybe it'll just grow on you a little bit. It's definitely one of those tanks, and we say this all the time about certain light tanks. It's definitely end game sort of play with that tank. You know, if you've got a lot of near deads knocking around on the enemy team, you can have a field day in that.
I think mine is too, Grendel. I believe it's one of, if not the lowest. So the Blesk is, I'm sitting at 1,000. Let's find another tier 8 light tank. Let's go with even the even 90s. Am I doing more with the even 90? I'm doing more with the even 90. FL10 is actually lower, so that doesn't. What's the Senlak? Oh, Senlak's about the same. How about the Brit or the Russian 102 is at 13? That makes sense. I find it hard sometimes with them to do damage early, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of damage early is going to be shots at range potentially.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't. You know, you shoot 40 shells and you get 12 damage or something.
Yeah.
You know?
And you're also putting yourself out there straight away, aren't you? That's the
Yeah,
other thing.
right. And then and so you get hit back. But if the match and the flow of the game and your gameplay gets you to the mid to late game with some hit points, it can be quite effective. But that's a big
Quite
if
effective,
a lot of
yeah.
times, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes
Yeah.
your team just gets rolled over. And you know, if you're in a regular, even an auto loader or cyclical light tank and your team gets rolled up, at least you have some reasonable expectation to get a few shots in.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
But unless with these things you can actually jump out and put a whole clip into someone, you're probably not even going to do a regular game of damage
No.
in that situation. Yeah, it's good for cleanup, 100%.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. What else we got? I think that's it for missions and specials. We're on a subject du jour, but I think you probably got to get going here pretty quickly. Eh?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the time now. Probably have to do one now.
Okay, we're going to take a 5-minute break, and then Pilgrim, appreciate you. You can say goodbye to all these folks.
Yeah, listen, everybody have a really good Sunday and enjoy yourself. And I'll catch you next Sunday. We're still on for it.
Absolutely.
Cool, and I'll catch you all next Sunday. Thank you very much indeed.
All right, thanks for coming by, man. Let's go on break. We'll see you guys in 5 minutes. All right, we should be back, fellas. I got to see this Starship thing. There it is. All right, we are back, my friends. Sans Pilgrim, unfortunately, but that's all good. Excuse me. Subjects du jour. All right, so here's a interesting thing. Incoming on his YouTube channel. He does a lot of really interesting stuff on there, but I don't know if he's here. I don't think he's here right now. However, did you know that the Czech TDs with the drop-off at 650 meters do like 1 point of damage? It actually drops off to 0. And thank you, Cliffy. That's true. Yep. Reload it if it's not working. In fact, I have to do that myself over here to watch it. What's the one? Polish, thank you. Probably Polish, right? Is that the one with the damaged mechanic? I believe so. Not Czech. Which is the one with the star shells? Why can't I keep that straight? I don't know. TD. Polish. Polish, yes. Polish, that's the one. The Lukes does that too? So he tested it, and at 650 meters, he'd be doing 1 or 2 damage. So there you have it. All right. What else we got going on? Let's take a look at some of the news here, because there's quite a bit of interesting things going on, to be quite honest. Let me find how to get to, there we go. All right. Because we haven't talked about any of this stuff for a couple weeks. They're putting some parental controls because the EU nanny state wants a bunch of that stuff, so there you go. Profile settings, turning off chat. I'm not really sure how that's all going to be done. Maybe through the launcher? I don't know. I also don't know how the kid isn't able to get in there and change it, so I'm not really sure what all the... I guess it's probably password protected, I guess. The controls themselves probably. Another little password to get in there and change them, so that might be what's going on with that. But that's fine, whatever. Good on them, protect the kids. We got the Object Kust detailed stats here. I don't know when Frontline is coming, actually. Is that on... Where can I click on this somewhere and see the... That's the highlights of the week. Is there a... There was a month thing for October. And I believe there's a Frontline this week, or this month, right? How come I can't get to... Can I not get to any of the older things now? I hate their new website, I'm going to be honest. Shout at clouds. Old man shouts at clouds. I actually don't like the design. It's irritating. And it looks like I can't get to any of the older articles. Oh, read all. Here we go. There it is. Found it. All right. Found it. Here it is, Watt Monthly. All right, so Frontline. I thought there was one, but maybe there isn't. I don't see it here, man. I see Onslaught. That's the tournament thing, so that's going on. I see German Reunification Day, Top of the Tree, Canadian Thanksgiving, which is there. Looks like Thursday, so the 10th. That's this weekend, basically. Yeah, I don't see it, man. Maybe next month? Don't know. Got the Czech Independence Day coming up. Battle Pass. Well-deserved reward is coming up. Oh, never mind. Sorry, that's last year's. So that new one should show up, I think, in November. Current XP exchange. I did not, Zemke. What do you got? Where was the question? I actually still don't see it, Zemke. Where's the question? There is an XP exchange. You're right. Look at this. What is the percentage? 35%. There, we'll get to that, maybe. There's one on RU coming up, but I don't know. I don't have any word on whether we're getting one. So I don't know if that's just... Also, are there discounts for the Canadian thing for like equipment and stuff? Where's that? There we go. No, it doesn't look like it. Nope. So it looks like it's just the conversion. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It might be assembly shop, but I don't have any essay on that. And there's nothing actually on Armored Patrol about it. There is one coming up for RU. Take that for what it's worth. We'll get that in a minute. The Kust. All right, this is. It's too bad Pilgrim's not here because this would irritate him. This is one of the. This is one with a siege mode that you actually have to press the button to get into, kind of like the German one, whatever that one's called. Maybe Black Market. Yeah, another possibility. You know, they do a Black Market after Christmas on occasion, so that might, but that's a ways from now. So this one, to go to siege mode, you have to press a button. It's a TD. It's a Tier 8 Premium Russian TD that has the hydraulic siege mode action going on. Takes 2 seconds to get in out. You do have to press the button. It goes from a -5 to a -10 depression when you do that. Your aim time and accuracy gets much better in siege mode, much like the other tanks that have this mode. You're slow in siege mode. 20 miles an hour to 5 backwards and 40 miles an hour to 5 forward. So this thing gets extremely slow, 5 kilometers either forward or backwards. I guess basically also the Swedish, right? Wedges have this same idea. So it's more or less a Swedish wedge mechanic. But check this out. As of right now, it's got 279 standard pen. 320 with its it's a heat round. 279 standard pen at Tier 8. Is that the highest Tier 8? Anybody, can you guys? Is there another Tier 8 that has a higher TD that has a higher pen than that standard? That is a wild. That seems like a wild number, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's really not that unusual. The 232. It's not going to be that tank. Sturb has 288. And Sturb's the king, right? So what's the S1? Is that the one that has 288? It does, 288. And it goes to 330. This is 289, and it goes to 320, so it doesn't quite get as much gold pen. It is a heat pen round, though. Like, what's the WZ? Is this any kind of decent pen? 271. Yeah, they are high, aren't they? The TDs, though, right? That's what TDs do. What about the AMX? Doesn't this have pretty good pen? No, not necessarily. 257. I mean, that's good, but what about this guy? This thing has good pen, I think. Nope, it has horrible pen. 226. So anyway, that's pretty good. And you're not seeing what I'm doing because I'm clicking through. Sorry about that. I was checking a couple TDs along the way. The DPM is not amazing at 1,934, but it is hitting for 550. It's got a high alpha, and it's a long reload, guys. 17 seconds as of right now. That's a lot. Especially since there's some 750 alpha guns that kind of have a reload in that region. And so there's that thing. We have a 265T, which is a tier 9 heavy tank. There was mechanics and magazine, so it's a reverse, it's the auto reloader that the Russian tanks have, or a reverse auto reloader. 390 alpha, 242 pen, 300 with heat. Rear turret, so that's a little bit tricky to play in this game. How fast is it? 35. It's a heavy, right? I believe so. Yep. So it's a premium. So here's one of the tier 9s, possibility for, sale. Maybe a battle pass tank or something. Although I don't know are the battle pass tanks, they're not premiums, right? I think the battle pass tanks tend to be reward tanks and not premium tanks. 16-second reload, 3 shells. Okay, so 10 seconds first shell, 13.4, and then 16 for third shell. So a 10-second reload for a 390 alpha, if all you did was shoot the first shell. Only -6 depression, that makes sense for rear turreted. Cruising along at 35, as we said, 380 on the view range. What is the armor? 300 on the turret, pretty good. 130 with okay angling. You can see it's got some angling on the front. And it is running 4 people. So commander that's a radio operator, the gunner, driver, and the loader. Yeah, yep, McKay, absolutely. So faster on the first shell and then slower for the next. So they call it the reverse auto reloader. But it's not an auto loader, so you can shoot, and then 10 seconds later you could shoot again if you just used it as a cyclical gun, which is sort of the strength. I don't know if you'd necessarily call it a strength, but there you go. Let's see now. So that thing is being a super test, guys. So it's early days with these things. Is this super test? Yes, the Kursk is super test as well. This looks really good, fellas. Check this out. So super test, but look what they're doing or thinking about doing with highway here. The before and after here. So we've got, here's the before. This is the field right in the middle. Highway, some terrain that kind of rises up so that that's not such a dead space anymore. One little tree. So when that tree gets knocked down, there's a light tank sitting in it. And check this out. Remember how low this gets where the river bottom is? You got to drive down and then drive all the way up to get into the city. So it looks like they flattened that out considerably. And the road goes across much higher. There's quite a bit of a berm, I guess, or terrain right through here. So that's very different. Looking from kind of where the snipers sit up here, the little town before you get into the corner, the north, I think it's the northeast corner. That's changed a bit. There's some water kind of down there, so that's very, very different. This is sort of hard to see, but this is the flat, dead area where sometimes you can get light tanks down in there, especially from the spawn behind the camera. Not as easy to get into there from the other spawn. Generally, the light tanks are up here on the road in the little village, but they've moved some of the terrain out. So this is higher terrain that kind of comes down. And look at all the trees they've added. So we got trees and bushes along here. A way to get down here, be a little protected. And they've changed the corner a lot in the northeast corner. I don't know about this great big building. I mean, I like that they've changed it up because this is very limited. There's very limited options over in this corner. But I don't like the big, that really kills a lot of maneuver capability. I understand what they're doing there. I wish that was smaller. But they've added a bunch of buildings down lower, which I think is a good idea. You can see that here. So this is looking back towards the corner. And this was always very difficult to push. These bushes could be used, but it was very difficult to push. Now look at this. We got all kinds of buildings and stuff down in here. This is a significant change, I think, for this map. Looking from very high, you can see this is the old one. This is the ridge right along here. And then here's where the terrain is getting pushed down a little bit into the river bottom. And you can see the extra buildings over here that aren't on this one. And this is the view. This is the view from the city where the heavy brawl is down the corner down here. And you can see this road. So it's still a dip, but I don't think it's as severe. The river's no longer there either. They got rid of the river. So I don't think this is necessarily a historic map. So they can kind of do whatever they want with it. You know, whereas if you were in Himmelsdorf or Kursk or one of these other cities, although they took Kursk out because for obvious reasons, those they kind of have to, they want it to be sort of historical, so there's a little bit of a limitation to what they can do with it. But this is just a space. Although if it is, maybe it is, I don't know. Maybe it is based on some actual terrain, but I doubt it. You can see that little promontory with the one tree down there that's not in this one. I think it may be a reasonable attempt at making more of this map usable. Because if you recall, this map is all about the sides of the map, right? Everyone hugs the side and get into the brawl, and they hug the side to get into the brawl, and then everyone hugs the side to get into this corner, and this middle doesn't open up until mid to late game. I don't know what the win rate. What is this one called? It's called, let's check it out. Good question. That's another good question. Is there a problem with highway? I don't know. Let's find out. Did this thing land yet? Nope, it's still turning. All right, so let's go over here. Let's take, and the cool thing about tomato.g, is it tomato? It's not tomato. Yes, it is tomato. Is they now have the tank or the maps stats. So we want to know about highway. Let's go with NA. What do we got? Find it here. It's here somewheres. Oh, dude, it's the very last one, right? Or I went by it. Oh my gosh, I hate it when I do that. How did I miss it? There it is. I don't know what just happened there. It's 48.11 to 50.46. Pretty even. There you go, Spitfire. 100%. Oh, okay, now it's doing it. I don't actually need to do that to see what I want to know. So you got to ask yourself, okay, thanks. But, oh yeah, the last few days. Okay, so let's look at that. Duration. Yeah, last 30 days. I think that's what it shows all the time anyway, last 30 day stats. Oh, geez, what's that? So it does beg the question, doesn't it, guys? Like, what other maps would be better to work on? Perhaps Mines, that's a 52 to a 46. That's a problem. How about Steeps, 51-46? That's a problem. Sand River is 51-47. For me, anytime you get outside about 3 or 4%, that seems like a problem to me. Redshire's pretty imbalanced. It's at the 4% regime. What's the worst one right now on NA with standard battles? Ooh, Fisherman's Bay is rough. That's 6% difference. Wow. Holy cow, that is atrocious, isn't it? Mountain Pass is still a problem too. Where is it? Or is it not? Province-wide part. I went past it already. Is Mountain Pass improved? Mountain Pass? Oh my gosh, no, it has not. 46 to 52. I think it got worse, didn't it, Gator? I believe that's worse than before they fixed it by maybe 1% or something. That's atrocious. 6% plus, 6.5% difference. That is just awful. But let me say, if they want to change maps, in terms of changing it to be different, I support that. In terms of picking the map that needs the work, they missed. Maybe those other maps are being looked at and they're further along. I don't know, but this is all the news we have, so we can complain. We're gonna complain. But anyway, I think it looks interesting. The debate about whether it's the one you should work on is another question entirely. And they're also working on Overlord. So Overlord, what's Overlord doing? I didn't necessarily see it as a problem, but maybe it is. Overlord, where are you? It's called D-Day in the files. There it is. Okay, well, at least that one probably needs work. 52 to 47. So what are they doing? Adding another Grendel. Is it lower? Is there a second lower beach that's under the water? Perfect for drowning. Oh. Well, what have we here? There's no beach. Okay, so what is this lower part for? Maybe it's not as steep of a climb and a descent now. Son of a beach. All right, what are we doing over here? No beach. But you could, if you want to, you just go get on this little What is this? Oh, you can't. The red line's there. Never mind. That's just aesthetics. You can't go past the red line. So there's some beach, but it's not. It is no longer. It is a bit of a go around here. So I see what they might be trying to do with that. That's now a kind of a. If you win that area, it's maybe another option other than come across the top. Maybe come back around through the bottom. What will people do? It's high tide. That's right. It's now high tide on Overlord. Think people will still go down there anyway? Global warming. I bet there's still people go down there. So what have we done here? All right, so basically they've shifted the map east and added some more terrain over on the other side. So they took away some of the beach and added some terrain on the other side, which could be very interesting depending on what this looks like over here. See, there's the old one. And then they've shifted it eastward and we've got more. It looks like a bunch of flat land. Okay. And that's a really good view because you can see the little road dip and the dip's gone. Oh, wow. So there's no longer this double berm. It's a single berm with another berm behind it. Huh. Where is this part? Oh, this is looking back towards the map. So they've got some bunkers and things over here. A single berm. We've lost the double berm. A couple TD lines and scouting lines here. A little bit of cover, hard cover over here to maneuver around. Yes, and a flat death zone right here. 2 flat death zones. Good. They've changed up the ramp a bit. It's got another extra little place to go through. Obviously the beach is no longer usable. Same thing over here. There you go. What will we do without the beach on Overlord, guys? That's a meme. The meme is going away. Looks like the bowl wasn't touched. At least the pictures didn't show the bowl being touched, Obandu. All right, so we did discuss that. We got Canadian Thanksgiving, but looks like the next event for the whole holiday season is going to be Project Babylon Project, which is Mirny. I thought Mirny was over, but I guess the concept of it isn't over. That particular story is over, and now we got Project Babylon. It's in the Mirny universe thing, and it's bosses. They got a last stand mode where you're going to be attacked by waves. There's a new end boss. There's 4 levels of it, and the tank you can get is the Nurgle. Subdue the Nurgle. That's the reward. And the Nurgle is, we go back here. There it is. So the article that's actually on the website that you can see. Here is the Nurgle. Takes a while for it to drive up, but it's that British tank we looked at some weeks back, the goofy looking one. It's a heavy tank. You can see that it's got tracks that stick out way forward, so there's no hitboxes there. But check out the, we don't have a whole lot of info on it, but check out the armor on this thing. The hull is 230. That's this part. Not highly angled, but somewhat angled. And the turret is 230. So strong hull, strong turret. Nurgle. So that's what we're getting there. Matilda's grandson, yeah. Matilda's larger. Face the bosses. Double guns and I don't know, fellas. It's not my thing. I don't think I've played any. I played the first Murney maybe years ago. I don't really touch it anymore. So, but if you go through all the progressions, essentially it's another marathon. You know, if you go through all the progressions and play it, you can come up with the Nurgle. I assume they'll probably sell it as well if you just want to buy it. I'm with you, Attack Crows. It's not my kind of gaming. It's just not that interesting. The Immortal and all the power-ups and all that stuff. I know people like it, so that's cool. Not for me. Not my thing. But plenty of people do like it. We've got a couple premiums here. This is a Tier 9 Italian medium tank with an auto reloader on it. The same kind of Italian auto reloader thing that they have on, say, the Progetto, etc. Gun loading from 12. So they've actually nerfed it a bit on Super Test. Looks like it may have been a little overpowered. We found the Germans. Go get the Nurgle. Cheerio. That's right. This is rocking a... Huh. They changed the damage from 490 to 480. Wow, that dude hits hard. There's a medium tank with a 480 alpha. And an auto reloader? Or is this actually cyclical? This may be cyclical. I may have lied to you. This doesn't look like an auto reloader. This looks like a cyclical single shot. Is that what I'm seeing? I think that's what I'm seeing here. Yep. So it hits hard. What's the reload on it right now? There it is. 14 seconds. All right, this is a single shot gun. They nerfed it a bit. Looks like all these numbers are going down. It had a 1400 shell velocity. They nerfed it to 1000. That's a laser in this game right there. Good morning, Bytor. How you doing? So they're working on this thing. That's a Tier 9. There's also a prototype. This must be that thing's prototype at Tier 8. So this is another medium tank. Is this also cyclical? I guess maybe. 300 alpha? Nope. The entire magazine for 3404. So does that mean this is an auto loader? Reloading system. Nope, auto reloader. So 13 seconds, 11 seconds, then 9 seconds. So this is the one that's longer on the first shell and shorter on the last shell. This is an interesting statement right here I just read. This tank may look familiar from Lesta servers, but the tank's initial development took place within the walls of Wargaming. So there's still a lot of shared content here. Lesta has definitely released some that Wargaming has not. So essentially another Tier 8. Has it got more armor than the Progetto? Or the... What's the tech tree Tier 8? I can picture it, but I can't remember what it's called. I don't think it's showing armor. Maybe down here. Here it is. No. Well, turret's okay at 170, so it's definitely more than a Progetto. Pantera, thanks, Winterlander. So it's definitely more armor than the Progetto. What's the Pantera have? Because the Pantera is more armored. But I don't think it's particularly amazing. The Pantera has 120 turret. So this is actually more heavily armored than a Pantera. Pantera is 120 and 80. This is 170 and 70. Still though, that's not amazing armor, especially at tier 8. -8, 0.35 accuracy, which is okay. So a couple Italian mediums in Super Test. Gabler's Destroyer, wheeled tank. A promotional tier 5, maybe a Christmas tank, but this is Super Test. I'm really doubting stuff in Super Test is going to make the corner for this Christmas. Great. That's just me talking out loud. That seems like too short of a time frame, so these are probably further down the line, although this is a tier 5 promotional, so who knows. Doing 75 damage. What's going on with what? Average with the 90 millimeter, average with the 120. What does that even mean? Why is it a different millimeter? Is it able to shoot two different kinds of shells for some reason? That doesn't make any sense. It is a 3-piece autoloader. 1 second between. So 75, 75, 75 for the alpha for one burst. How fast is it? 65, that's pretty fast. What is this? Tier 6 or 5? It's 5. Tier 5. It's a light tank as well. Oh. A wheeled light tank at tier 5. Were they the pens? Oh, okay. I'm an idiot. I was thinking the shell. I was thinking the bloody shell itself. Must still be tired. That makes sense. 90 millimeter pen, 120 pen. That's exactly what it is. That has nothing to do with the with the size of the gun. I think 120 millimeter on a tier 5 might be a little bit of overkill, right? 120 millimeter tier 5 light tank. Oh boy. Yeah, oh boy. So that guy's out there. This is all Super Test though. No, I just clicked on a bloody ad. That was awesome. RU is still working flamethrower stuff. We have not seen any whisper of that at this point. Here's where I'm getting the multi-level loot boxes stuff. So reading this, it says, you know, they tested it in the Chinese region, and I think Lesta tested it. A launch in China went very well. So they're expecting 2 launches with stage rare. Are they only talking RU? This is what I could not quite dig out. After the record Lesta launches, final decision was made to launch these in all watt regions. So I always comment on this because it's always interesting. And again, this could be translation, and who knows what these guys really know. But that's an interesting statement overall. So record profit on Lesta and then a launch on Chinese. The decision was made to launch these loot boxes in all watt regions. Well, what? Is Lesta just another watt region? Interesting. This says in 2025, 2 launches. Quarter 2, quarter 3, and 4. That's later in the year. So I'm pretty sure this doesn't turn the corner for this year. During this Waffentrager 2025, that's next year, and New Year's Offensive 2026. So I don't think we're getting them. Well, I don't think we're getting this mechanic for this Christmas. At least based on what this is saying. Who knows It could happen. Who knows? But this is the deal where there's 3 tiers of boxes. You have tier 8, tier 9, and tier 10 premiums or gift, whatever, tanks. Reward tanks, I guess. And you have varying chances for each one of these. But this is saying that it's probably, from what I'm gathering from it, this is saying we're probably going to get it as well. Got some more tanks here as well. That's the boxes. This is more Kust stuff. Prototypo 6, the 265T, which we talked about. And I think that's it. More flamethrower action. Oh, here's a cool little thing. This is a Centurion Mark 1, which is a tier 8 medium tank. The Centurion one. This is the Mark 1A, which is a tier 7 premium. So basically probably like a stock Centurion at tier 7. Super test as well. Looks like a Centurion. I think it's a medium tank, yeah. These are just screenshots, so no data on what it is. Actually, they built 100 of these things. Interesting that it's not already in the game. This was an actual deployed built tank. There you go. I don't know, maybe there might be some other tanks in the game at the Centurion, like the M45 or whatever it is. Maybe that's really what that is. They sort of mix and match some of the tanks at times. I think that's about it. Here's Gabler's Destroyer. Looks like it's got some kind of rocket launching system on it that is probably not in the game. FV226 Contradictus. Dictius. This has an oscillating turret. It's a tier 8 heavy tank premium. And choice of firing mode. Oh, it's a double barrel. So I guess you've got the same thing as the Russian ones where you can shoot both at the same time. So this is a double barrel mechanic with oscillating turret. Because we need more autoloader, loader, reloader, loaders, and oscillating turrets and double barrels. Don't have enough of those. Starship land yet? And that's it for that troll. What's going on with the 48 minutes? It's 81 kilometers up. Looks like it's doing its re-entry. You got the plasma coming off of it. That's actually really cool looking. Oh, is it already down? Not according to this. Or am I looking? I'm looking at a recording. What do you mean splashdown? Did they intend to just put it in the sea the whole time? Oh, there it is. Burning in the water. So they didn't try to capture it? Can their landing ships even handle the Starship? They're not big enough, are they? Yeah. But it did re-enter. That's the important part, right? And if they got close to where they were trying to put it, I think that was the test point they were trying to do, right? Just be able to put it where they wanted to in the water. That's pretty cool. And it didn't melt. Yeah, the fin didn't melt. They've actually got pictures of it in the water sitting there burning and sinking. That's awesome. That would appear to be a very successful test today. That's cool, man. That is so cool. Well, congrats to Musk and his team. Mostly his team. But, you know. He put it all together. That's wild. Who'd have thought you'd live to see that kind of stuff, man? You know what I mean? For the longest time, I think we were sort of sold this idea. I don't know, not sold the idea. I'm probably not saying this the right way, but I don't think anyone really thought that landing the rocket was going to be... It wasn't considered something worth even trying, I think, for a long time. It's just like, why would you do that? What's the benefit? It'd be too difficult to do. All those kinds of things. all the stuff that NASA and Boeing and all those guys, the rocket makers, sort of poo-pooed, right? It's not the way to go. And I would assume early on that that was probably pretty true. But it just took somebody to go, you know what, I think we can probably, let's try it. Why not? And he did it. Got rockets landing. Some of those things are on their 20th launch. You don't pay attention to it because it's so routine now, but they're launching rockets weekly. It's got to be close to weekly, and on average it may be weekly. The Falcons are going up constantly. Crazy stuff, man. I think I've talked about everything we wanted to talk about there, fellas. Yeah, a lot of it's Starlink. Right, Grendel? Yep. But it felt like something they just kind of abandoned and no one was really looking at. And it had a lot to do with money. Credit to Boeing and the other rocket makers. They were busy making stuff that worked. Their ability with the way they were designed and the way they worked with NASA and the government, they had little ability to innovate because they were paid to do X, not to innovate necessarily in terms of something so radically different. They innovated as best they could. Here's the cool. You got to check this out. Go look up the difference between the what are the engines called? I can't. The Falcon Heavy, are they the Falcon engine? Is that what it is? Yeah. I think it's Falcon engine, right? I'm trying to find this picture. Here it is. Check this out. This is awesome, and it escaped me. I did not know this was going on, but you hear about how they're improving stuff, right? And you're like, okay, I got it. Well, here is a picture. Raptor. They're called Raptors. Thank you, Cliffy. Raptors. Look at the Raptor 1 right here. Look at the complexity of this thing. Then we got Raptor 2. Look how they've redesigned this. And then look at the Raptor 3, which I think I think they're on Raptor 1 and Raptor 3 is coming, I'm not sure where they are right now. But look at this thing. Compared to Raptor 1. The complexity is down, the power is up. The weight is down because all these doodads, all this extra crap. And that's a problem, right? Because when you have that much ducting and complexity, it doesn't take much of a problem in one of these areas to cause a whole issue with the engine. You streamline this engine down to just this. Yeah, Jimmy, less junk to break. Incredible. So the Raptor 1 was 185. What's the TF? I forgot. I knew that. I just looked at it the other day. TF thrust something. Anyway, the higher the number, better. Raptor 3 is 280. The Raptor 1 was 185. Engine mass, 1,525 kilograms for Raptor 3. It used to weigh 2,080, so they dropped it 25% of weight. That's huge in space flight, aviation, etc. More power out of less weight. That's what you need. Right, Cliffy, exactly. They aren't afraid to fail. And that is interesting, because you get maybe... Boeing does a test or whatever. The government pays them a bunch of money to do something. And then they fail. That becomes a problem for the contract. Whereas Musk fails, he's like, whatever, I got the money. You know what I mean? We'll reiterate it and bring up a better thing and we'll just keep going. And once he proved he could do that, and he's done that with, over time with different products. Once he kind of proved that, now you have investors that look at the track record of what's going on, and they'll go, I don't care if I see a failure, because he's going to keep going, and it's going to happen. So now you have investors that are on board with the fast, iterative process of learning from failure and not being afraid to fail. Yep, exactly. And that's hard to do with government money and contracts. Failing is expensive. Yep. But it's a loss leader in the way he does it. Like, they expect to, right? He essentially, a lot of his testing is live testing, which is really the best testing, as long as you're not killing people, obviously, causing damage to wide areas or anything silly like that. You'll learn more by actually doing the thing, vice little tests of separate components over a lot of time. Just put it all together and see if it works. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Well, fellas, that's about all the babbling I've got. We're at 2 hours. I'm going to close this thing down. Let's go find somebody to raid. Appreciate y'all coming by. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy your day off tomorrow if you do have that day off. I am tenuously planning on streaming tomorrow, so expect a couple 3-hour stream tomorrow. We'll see you then if you got time, if you're off or whatever. I will package this up for all those you came late, want to check it out, or for anyone who's not here, which I guess I'm not talking to them right now because they're not here. All right, fellas, much appreciated. As always, if you have a cool replay, I've got a couple in the hopper. I got to do a few videos today to get ready for the next week. I've been out for a week. So obviously, anytime you got any cool replays on what's going on. Yeah, hello, future people. Send them to me. Glad to feature them. Glad to check them out. Get a lot of great replays from you guys. I do appreciate that very much. Let's go find someone to raid here. Gotta get rid of all these pages that I don't need now. And go to Twitch and see who's twitching. Who's out there twitching right now? Do. Anybody got a favorite out there you think needs a raid? Don't really see anyone I know. We find a one viewer person. They gotta have a camera. We need some interaction. So many people don't use cameras. The official Onslaught stream is starting. No. Are they there? I don't see it. When's it starting? Like right now? Or is it already up and running? Oh, it's the big one right in front of me. Oh my god, that's funny. Is it? No, that's... No, Gazelle Intensity. 24-hour stream. I don't see him on there. Oh, there it is. I see. It just came up. Well, we'll raid Killa Girl. I haven't raided her in a while, so let's go raid Killa Girl. And obviously, go get your drops on the official one. But I do appreciate it, guys. You have a fantastic rest of your weekend, Sunday, all that stuff. Hopefully, we'll see you on Monday. If I don't get pulled away with something else, don't know. You never know. We are raiding now in 4, a tree, a 2, a 1, and we will see you guys.